This is some greenlight good stuff called That Day We Left. I'm going to be quiet for a second while talking happens.
We didn't leave because we wanted to. Riots, famine, war. We had no other choice.
Now, this is based on the Syrian refugee crisis, which makes it particularly interesting as a topic.
We left our homes, our loved ones, in search of a new life. Walking for weeks, enduring hunger and thirst, death and misery.
Interesting, probably not the right word. I was going to follow that up quickly with some qualifiers, but then the trailer started talking again. By interesting, I don't just mean, from a callous standpoint. Interesting and evocative, and obviously potentially important. I mean, it's an important subject, tackling the idea of refugees and war, of course. And as you can see here, very consequence-based, really make you think about what you would do in that situation and what that could lead to. And a similar game that covered these kinds of topics was This War of Mine, of course, which was one of my games of the year that year it came out. And that's part of what really attracts me to this one. A lot of extra gameplay stuff going on here. It's not just like choose your own adventure stuff. Resource management, as they say there. Finding places to live.
Left
and
the war behind. But we didn't know it would await us ahead. That day we left.
That image there seems to hint at, of course, what Syrian refugees face when they do find their refuge and find that perhaps it's not quite a refuge, as it were. So it's tackling some really heavy issues here, some really serious stuff. You can see here they pull no punches. That's someone just getting shot. So this is, you can tell with the tone of my voice, just trying to be as careful as I can, because I don't want to come across as churlish when dealing with such a subject. But that game certainly looks like it packs a punch, right? It's very political as well, so if you don't like your politics in your games, you might not be that interested. I, for one, am very interested in that sort of thing, so it's got my attention, certainly. Many thanks, by the way, to the people who tipped me off about this. This one's been getting a lot of attention sort of immediately after it went up, so I got several emails linking me to this. I actually got an email from the developer themselves offering me to try out the alpha prototype, which you can as well if you're interested in the game. They've got a playable demo, which, as I say, is always good for a greenlight game. It shows that they're confident in what they've got, that they're already willing to show it to you, and it's a sign that they've actually got something, which is a nice difference compared to some of the games on Greenlight where they haven't got a game. If we go through the description here, we learn it's a 3D adventure game that focuses on meaningful choices and immersive narrative. I've seen some comparisons to Telltale's games, The Walking Dead and that sort of thing. So if you need bases of comparison, you can compare it to The Walking Dead by way of This War of Mine. It's not the most intellectually impressive thing to do, is to just get two different games and say, well, it's like those two. But they're certainly the two games I'm reminded of as I see the trailer and read about it. So there's resource management as well, and morale management as well. Morale management is something I really liked in State of Decay, that zombie game that was rather critically well received, had its critics, had its fans. I was in the fan camp. One thing I would have loved to have seen them expand on was that morale management, keeping the people you're with in some sort of high spirits, keeping their hope going. And that's definitely something I feel would be a really important idea in this game, a really crucial concept. So that's something I would love to see get a lot of attention, a lot of focus, trying to find ways to keep people happy. And again, that was in This War of Mine as well. People would get depressed. There was a risk of them being so crushed by the horrors of the war-torn situation they're in that they could even kill themselves. That's how you could lose a character in that game. So that's stuff that really weighs heavy and is definitely more meaningful, more relatable than a lot of the concepts we see in video games. Not to diminish something like Gears of War or what have you, but, you know, clearly sci-fi things and fantasy things, they can tackle themes in an abstract way, and sometimes in a more direct way, but this is something very contemporary and something that a lot of people in the world today can and will and do face and deal with. So that's always going to resonate a bit more, and is naturally harder to do in a game. That's something that's worth pointing out. This may be the riskiest Greenlight Good Stuff game I've looked at, not just in terms of the topic and whether they can handle that with enough sensitivity or whether it would prove too controversial, but also the concept from a mechanical standpoint is so grand in terms of scope that there's a lot that could go wrong. There's a lot they could mess up here. This isn't, and again, not to diminish a game like Fox and Forests or Edgelands or any of the other games we've covered in this series so far. A simpler concept, of course, is harder to mess up. So a 2D 16-bit style platform action game is going to be not easier to make, but more straightforward than an adventure game with choices that you've got to rope in, with morale and resource management and all of this kind of stuff, as well as holy shit, they're doing a game about the Syrian refugee crisis, which is just a whole other layer of holy shit, that's risky. The developer doesn't want to just capitalise on the subject either. They have said on the Greenlight page that they plan to devote a portion of their profits from That Day We Left, should it get onto Steam and sell, they want to give that to charity. So they're talking to various non-profit organisations to find out how to do that. They don't actually have a charity in mind yet, but that's something they're looking at. So that's also a very important thing. I know that Dragon Cancer, unfairly in my opinion, was criticised for making money off a dead child, which I thought that was a tasteless accusation. But this decision here certainly answers any kind of accusation like that. It's on Kickstarter, of course, as a game like this you would expect would be. It's 7% funded right now. I think it just went up, so that's probably a pretty good start. That looks like it's actually hitting the ground running. 32 days to go, 7% funded. If you're interested in the game, if you decide to play the prototype and it impresses you, then maybe that's something you want to kick a few bucks to. As I said earlier, the developer contacted me actually just as I was about to record this and linked me to the demo personally, and even referred to me as Jim fucking Sterling's son, which will get my attention, I suppose. So I'm thinking sometime this week, maybe not today because I've already got my day planned out as far as content goes, but tomorrow or the day after, certainly sometime this week, I'd like to check that prototype out and have a Jimpressions video of that as well. So if you're skeptical at the moment, you could hold until then, or in the meantime try the demo yourself. But as it stands, That Day We Left is a game that looks pretty damn promising to me. Certainly the biggest risk we've looked at, the riskiest prospect we've looked at, but fingers crossed. I like to have faith in a game this bold.